Welcome to the Stronger Tides Podcast, the podcast for small business entrepreneurs and corporate executives to learn more about increasing their client or employee retention through a group cruise program. Ready to drop anchor? Here's your host, travel advisor Rita Perez.
Hello again. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you are having a wonderful start to your day. Or if you're listening to this at the end of the day, I hope you're having a relaxing end to your day. This week, I wanted to talk about cruise retreat safety. And I know you're probably thinking, I'm a crazy person. How can cruising in groups possibly be safe right now? And you know me, I have thoughts about it too. So let's get into it. Ships aren't sailing right now. I mean, technically they're sailing, just not with passengers. It's really the crew making sure all the systems are operating, and they're also getting into place all of the protocols. So they're keeping the ships not only clean, but they're also doing all the refurbs with the ships that need to be done in order to sail according to the CDC. So ships won't be sailing from American shores until at least May 2021. And I know it's been quite an update since I've mentioned anything, but yeah, it's looking more like May 2021, which it surprises me, but it also doesn't. It's disappointing, but alas, let's go back. Let's circle back. So ships won't be sailing until at least May 2021, which means there's nothing to fear for the moment, and I would also argue ever. The cruise lines are still working their tails off to conform their ships into even safer sailing vessels than before and polishing up their safety protocols. The next point that I wanted to talk about is that employee retreats are a no for now. Client retreats are a yes, but for later. So I don't foresee any corporate retreats happening this year to improve employee morale and retention, but I know 2022 is the year it will be at again. We should be ahead by leaps and bounds a year from today. I mean, if you really think about it, a year ago is when all this mess started. By 2022, most, if not all of the people who are willing and able to get vaccinated will have already done so as well. Where employee retreats are more like mandatory fun in a sense, client retreats are much more voluntary, and I think these will come back sooner for that reason. I would say fall would be a good time to start sailing with your clients, and again, that's months away from now. I can't wait to see what advancements the cruise and hospitality industries have made by then. And lastly, Hey, interested in getting an actual numbers comparison of a land retreat versus a cruise retreat? You know, honestly, when I was putting this document together, I couldn't even believe the great difference between the numbers. Visit StrongerTidesPodcast.com to be added to my weekly email list and get the download now. Back to the show. Physically, nothing changes. We'll still be practicing social distancing and wearing masks, which this gives me a really cute collateral idea. Maybe one of the things that you give away is a themed face mask to your group or to the event or to the theme of the day or whatnot. I mean, if we gotta wear them, let's make them festive, right? The cruise lines are refitting ships with updated HVAC systems, larger medical facilities, and spacing out public spaces, amongst other things. Mentally, man, here's where I think we all need a cruise, retreat or not. Mentally, we need to escape. I don't know about you, but I need the escape and wonder of a vacation. And especially with so many companies having gone remote in the past year, I can only imagine the sparks that will fly when you get your team back together. For client retreats, we've all been home for most of the year. So while you may have seen your clients in or out or even on Zoom, there just isn't anything like personal human connection, especially when complemented with travel. So while safety is a concern, COVID or not, I think cruise retreats have the blessing of two things: time and practice. Time, because many groups probably won't be sailing until 2022 anyways, and practice because, one, we've had a lot of it, and two, by the time your retreat sails, so will the cruise lines. And before I sneak away from you this week, I did want to give a sneak peek that the Stronger Tides podcast is going to be magically turning into the Cruise Retreat podcast. So I am working on that on the behind the scenes. I think it's going to make it clearer to everybody what exactly this podcast is about and what we talk about. Obviously, cruise retreats, but also there's a lot of other off-topic things that we do talk about. So cruise retreats, but also cruise industry related items that you guys do need to know. So get ready. Not much of the podcast is going to be changing. I'm hoping to have a few more guest speakers coming in on the podcast. But yeah, the Stronger Tides podcast will now be known as the Cruise Retreat podcast, or shortly it will be known as the Cruise Retreat podcast. So I wanted to give you a heads up. Don't worry if you see a new name or transition. It's still me. I'm here and we're still talking cruises and retreats. So, ta-da! Alrighty, yay for this new year, and I will see you next week.
Thanks for joining us on the Stronger Tides podcast. Please subscribe to our podcast. And if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating or a share with your colleagues. Find us on social media at Rita Ventures Group Cruising and online at ritaventures.net. Until next time, happy sailing.